right, guys. Welcome to another episode of Elevated and Chill. It's your host, CJ, tapping in with you guys for another session. Starting it off as usual with a vibe check. Um, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's been draining this week, home team, with work and personal life and stuff like that. But glad to be tapping in with you guys. You guys are the highlight of my week. So, we pushing through. We keeping up with dance. We keeping up with the exercising, working out, and all that stuff for the gym. This weekend's a long weekend, so excited for it. And got myself a little Coke Zero. Treat yourself. Can't go wrong with a nice little Coke Zero always. Um, Shout out to my boy Chris, for putting me onto this. 0 calories gives you the same feeling as a Coke, so definitely, a little something to spruce up the week a little bit. But how are you guys doing? What's going on with you guys? Drop it in the comments. Would love to hear from you guys. Tapping in. Uh, but jam packed session today. Um, Kicking it off. With the top five. I didn't tell you guys this last session, but I normally do like a top five. I watch a lot of movies. I'm a big movie guy. I started getting back into reading, so I have like a book goal. And I listen to music on a daily as well. So I on my Instagram, I posted my top five albums of the year. I actually did like a order two, just to give you guys an insight of my top five, and per usual, drop it in the comments. I would love to see what you guys gotta say. But my top five books, starting off with The Silent Patient. It's kind of like a thriller book, which was really it just it just caught my attention. Really loved the book, the plot behind it, the plot twist, everything behind it. It was definitely very enjoyable. Definitely a good read. It's one of those books that like you're in like the you can't get enough of it. And I know I mentioned it earlier when I was reading it, but at the same time, it did make my top five books. Amazing book. You guys should read it. My second book I read was Red at the Bone. It's it kind of really just shows like the insights of like racism, inequality, gender equality, and stuff like that. I just love this book because like it wasn't one of those like heavy books, but it definitely gives you good understanding of a lot of societal issues and stuff like that. So really good book. Auschwitz, a doctor's eyewitness account. This book is basically about a doctor who he is captured by the Nazis, but is because he's a doctor, he is split from his family. But since he's a doctor, he becomes a doctor, like an actual doctor in the concentration camps, and he's seen a lot. As a traumatizing experiences, like he's seen people die, get killed, go into the gas chambers, get go into the lead showers, all that stuff. Gives you like really like a great depiction of what the Nazis were doing in World War II. And you know what? I'm a big history buff, so this was an excellent book. Um, and he ended up reunited with his family. And when the war was ending, the concentration camp closed. He was able to escape. He was going through the trenches. It was crazy, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. But I guess I'm a big history buff. I like things like this, so it definitely gives you a lot of insight of what the Jews were going through during that time. So great book. Tap into that as well. Undistracted, capture your purpose, rediscover your joy. This is kind of like a one of those like lifestyle books. And basically like the title kind of is self explanatory. You're just kind of like rediscovering what your purpose is, like what do you where you want to go in life. It kind of like, and as a fun the narrator and so like the author is very like intuitive and stuff like that. So definitely one of those books that kind of reinvigorated me. And lastly, Beautiful Country. It's about a tennis player who goes over to Beijing. Just interesting to see how like the Beijing like the Chinese culture in general is, is um the dynamics and all that stuff. So those are my top five books. Um, Home team, let me know what your top five books are, or if you guys are reading, or if you guys want suggestions. Or listen, I'm always open for you guys to suggest some books to me that that you guys would like me to read. So drop it in the comments. Would love to see what your suggestions are. Um Albums, for me personally, being a really big music guy, there was a lot of good music coming out on 2025. Um, this top five is mostly based off of my Apple Music. So one is gonna hurry up tomorrow by the weekend. Two is I Am Music, Playboy Cardi. Three is Let's God Sort 'Em Out Clips. Four is 12 West Side Gun. Five, Heels Have Eyes, West Side Gun. Honestly, I feel like I would put like Hurry Up Tomorrow at like three, and put 12 at two, and then four would be Playboy Cardi. He'll no play. I think Playboy will be a five. But still, no. I think to me, all these projects that I just mentioned are great projects. That got sort of out with the clips. They came back hot and heavy. Malice, Pusha. Just seeing them back and seeing them still having that chemistry. My favorites on the album, Inglorious Bastards, Mike Tyson, Blow to the Face, and of course Chains and Whips. They just they just mesh well. Malice didn't lose a step. Artistry, bars, it's just a great album. Well put together. Obviously Kendrick's on there, Chains and Whips. That's a great song. Very enticing. It's like issues like you just want to face the world and conquer the world. And especially being that him and Pusha um connecting on nostalgia. So no pun intended, but nostalgia that the clips are bringing back. You know what I mean? Just a lot of just a lot of like honestly, again, no pun intended, home team, but nostalgia. I don't want to reuse that word, but a lot of nostalgia on this album. So shout out to Clips for making this project great album. Um, West Side Gun is really those one of those like artists that like he doesn't really care about the mainstream, but he just drops quality projects. It was funny too because earlier this week I was the first song that I was bumping. Shout out my boy Mark. The guy, the first song that I bumped from Griselda in general was Michael Irvin, and I listened to that song and I'm like, yo, like he was saying, my boy Mark was like, yo, this is like villain music. I'm like, yo, this is really like villain music, but like just like the beat, the production, the wordplay, the bars. West Side Gun is just one of those. What he's doing with Griselda is absolutely amazing. He got a Stove God. Shout out Stove God too. I love the whole Griselda movement, so shout out them. The Weekend, I mean, I just love this project. There's a lot of great songs on there that I enjoy personally. Um, Really, my favorite song is Mercy's up there. There's just a lot of good songs in that album. Very, you get like that poppy feel, but then you just also get like that, that old school Weekend. So it was a great project. Um, Cardi, Cardi, Cardi just continues to like reinvent himself. You know what I mean? Like, you know, 2015 Cardi isn't like now Cardi, but that's what you want to see in an artist. And I just think I Am Music just shows that. He connected with a lot of people on this. Filthy, the producer, Future's all over this. Trav is on this. So Playboy Cardi definitely dropped a good one. A really solid one. With this one. Um, and going back to West Side, he has this thing called Hills Have Eyes, and shout out John Cena on his last time. the last time is now tour, the GOAT and stuff like that. But you know, big wrestling guy. So like I just love the fact that West Side Gun ties in wrestling to his music. It's just good to see like the music and wrestling always had like a connection, but it's just good to see like him amplifying that. And for me being a wrestling fan and heavy into music, this is a great it just brings me a lot of joy. Um, so yeah, that's my top five albums. Home team. Let me know what your top five album is. I really want to know what they are, what kind of music you guys listen to. Yo, listen, home team too. Every year I try to get into a new genre. So whatever genre of music that you guys have, put me on. I will give you my reviews on here. I'm not shy about giving reviews when it comes to music, but I'm always open to listening to new music, getting into new genres and stuff like that. So put your recommendations, suggestions in the comment box. We'd love to hear what you guys what you guys suggest. Um and movies. Movies. My number one favorite movie this year was Sinners. Sinners was one of those movies for me that I rewatched like four times. I just loved it. I love the plot. I love the message behind it. The score was amazing. The cinematography is amazing. That scene in the wooden the I'm gonna call it a shed, but I'm gonna call it a club, but it's really a shed. You guys know what I mean if you guys watched the movie. Where they just by the way, spoiler alerts. I should have home team. I apologize in advance. Major spoiler alerts, but you guys had to have seen this movie. Tap in, please. Go watch it. It's probably on streaming platforms or whatever. But just that scene where they're having like that musical scene where he's just like where Ryan Coogler just like his his cinematography is amazing in that scene. It just shows like the progression of music. And that was just a wonderful scene. So shout out Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, Haley Sansfield, all everybody that was in that movie. I love that movie. F1. Um, yeah, F1 literally makes me want to go to F1. And not even just go to F1, but actually race a car in F1. Because I was like in that movie, I'm like, yo, man, I didn't know. Like I knew, but I didn't know that racing is really intense. Like I'm like, yo, this is like I know it's dangerous, but this is really intense. So I just love how they depicted the racing culture and stuff like that. And obviously F1 in general. Um, you know, Damson Idris does a wonderful job with well, along with Brad Pitt. They do a wonderful job of kind of like embodying what the culture of racing is. And, the soundtrack is amazing. It blends right in. So shout out F1, the F1 cast, amazing movie. You guys got to tap in. Um, three will be Marty Supreme. Timothy is on this run since 2023. I believe when he was starring in Willy Wonka. Last year, Bob Dylan. This year, Marty Supreme. Your man is moving like Q4. It ain't Q4 is his, but he's one of those that are coming up. Oh, I think he's here to be honest. I would definitely love to rewatch Mario Supreme. It's very, very funny, very like interesting, very like catchy. Um, it just shows like man, when you have passion for something, just go for it. Just go for it, home team. Four weapons. Weapons was a great movie. It's kind of like a not. It's a thriller. But just it's very intriguing. Um, I hope it wins like something the Oscars or something like that. Very, and I don't know who the actress is that plays the woman, but she does a great job. And like one battle after another. Not really more so for like you know, the plot. 'Cause I'm a big plot guy in anything I do, but more, I think, the acting and the score was amazing. Uh, Tiana Taylor does an amazing job of acting and embodying that role. Leo is Leo. Leo's gonna do what Leo does. So but seeing him paired up with Tiana, Taylor is absolutely amazing. I think they do a good job of like connecting and they have great chemistry. So shout out to Tiana. Um, and for that movie, she just she's doing big things in the movie, that the film industry and stuff like that. Speaking about movies, the Golden Globes was this past weekend, and it was something to be watched. And not really, to be honest. Just hyping it up a little bit. Home team. Oh wait, but home team. Let me know what your top five movies are. Um, you know, what are you guys watching in the movie realm? You know, drop it in drop it in the comment section. Let me know. Put me on a movies. There's a movie that I haven't seen. I know Begonia. A lot of people been ranting and raving about Begonia. I gotta tap into that. I heard it was an amazing movie. I apologize for not watching it. We'll do my review on it soon, so stay tuned for that home team. Um, yeah, the Golden Globes. I don't know. I was a little disappointed. I just think Tiana won an award. Shout out to Tiana. I just think Sinners not winning a lot of not a lot, but like more than what they won. They didn't win. They did win best score. Shout out them. But I just think they could have done way. They could have won way. Not could have. They should have won way more awards. Even like Marty Supreme being Marty Supreme even being in the nominations, even though I made the cut, it's like you really only had a week to sit on it. For me, I put it in my top five. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it was a good film that I watched. Obviously people may think the same thing, but I just think from a nomination standpoint, like there's other projects that like were sitting, that came out in 2025, that should have been mentioned. So yeah, I don't know. I just think like the Golden Globes, and all these like award shows, like it's like come on, man, like what's going on here? They get it right sometimes they don't. Leo also won a no one battle after another also won something too. So I think which it should have. And I'm not saying Marty Supreme shouldn't be in this because I have it in my top five. I just think like a week, you know what I mean? You know, but hey, that's just me. Obviously, for I think generally speaking, the Golden Globes like they just kind of like whoever is like getting people in the seats and stuff like that. So it is what it is. Um, Kind of stemming into the next segment of the session, chill and ask. Nominations for the Oscars. You guys already know what I'm gonna say. I think Sinners should be nominated for at least for an Oscars. Again, Michael B. Jordan should be up there. But I know Leo is gonna be that he's gonna be a nomination. Tiana Taylor should be nominated as well. Emma Stone for Begonia. I'm gonna throw her in there because I heard the movie was amazing. So Emma Stone should be in there for actress. The scores I think should be in there for like Sinners. Um I'm not gonna lie to you, the score from Marty Supreme was wavy. Very wavy. So maybe what I'm saying, like I think potentially, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and say that they shouldn't. I think maybe next year. But I gotta admit the score from Marty Supreme was was really wavy. I actually got one of those the songs from the score in my rotation. Uh, but I'm gonna stick to I'm gonna stand on business and say like, listen, like they should hold off on putting Marty Supreme for an Oscar nomination, but it probably is. Um, those are my predictions. Home team, let me know what you guys, what are your potential nominations for the Oscars? Um, my second question I wanted to ask you guys, do the awards need to reevaluate how they go about giving the awards? I think for me, personally, I think, you know, it's very I think for me, it's very biased. I think when it comes to any of these like the arts in general, you should really place a heavy emphasis on the creativity. If you're doing movies, the cinematography, you know what I mean? The VMAs, the same thing, the production. When you're doing the Grammys, how is how is the culture receiving this project? Not because it sold this much and this much. Even though they're kind of connected, I just think the creativity should be awarded. And I'm not saying like if you put in people in the seats, if you're watching a movie or people are buying an album that that's not a criteria. I think that should be a criteria, but I think we're getting lost in just numbers, and I think it should also be placed on the creativity of the projects or whatever. So again, let me know what you guys think. I'm interested. I'm really interested about this because I think as we've gotten the years have passed, a lot of like the award shows have been like very much like lackluster in my opinion. So again, let me know what you guys think, home team. I'm gonna throw in another a question, more so like you know uh what are you anticipating for 2026 the movies? What do you home team, what are you guys anticipate like most excited to see in 2026? I know for me it's two. Obviously the Avengers Doomsday, I can't wait for that to come out. I'm a little skeptical about Robert Downey Jr. playing it, but I think I like the way they whatchamacallit, they're doing it. I really do um like the the direction that the Russo brothers are going in. So I'm excited for this movie. The Odyssey. Yo, listen, man, the Odyssey, man. Yo, I'm highly excited for that movie to come out. Um, you know, it's a star-studded cast. Christopher Nolan is a absolute monster when it comes to directing. So I'm really excited for that movie to come out. Can't cannot cannot wait. Um yeah, so I'm really excited for the for whatchamacallit, for the Odyssey, and just to see where how they do it. Like I said, I'm a history buff, so that's another reason why I want to watch it. But Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite directors. Bunch of movies: Inception, Interstellar, the Dark Knight series. So shout out. I'm really excited. Home Team. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's like the one of the movies. Those are the two movies I'm mostly excited for. But let me know what you guys are excited for. Anything, whatever across the genre. I'm definitely gonna be in my movie bag this year. So wanna get into old school, old movies, new movies. Let me know what you guys think. And what are you guys anticipated for? Um, Kind of shifting gears. The sports world, a lot going on there. Football's happening, a lot of news in other sports, but two of the bigger news in the sports realm is one, the Dodgers are extending their dynasty and they just added Kyle Tucker to their roster. And listen, man, I'm a hater. I'm a hater. I'm a super hater, actually. Yo, listen, man, the Dodgers, this pains me so bad. But they just got Kyle Tucker, and they're stacked. They got Freddie Freeman, they got Mookie Betts, Shohei, the other Japanese pitchers. They got they just signed Kyle Tucker. This is crazy. The Dodgers, and the thing is just like they make it work. You know what I mean? It's not one of those. Oh, usually it's like, oh well, there's so many superstars, but they actually make this work. And it's just like this is gonna be the new dynasty, and it really pains me to say. Um, they are. Let me correct myself. They're already a dynasty, but they're already a dynasty, but they are. If they win this 3P, they're going down in history for sure. Like nobody could beat this team but themselves. So, and Kyle Tucker secured the bag, 4 year, 240 million, 240 million, 4 years. The Dodgers are throwing the bag, throwing the bag. Um, yeah. So let me know what you guys think about this home team. I'm a little upset given that I'm a Yankees fan and the Yankees aren't really doing much in anything. So I'm a little sad and depressed about that. But you know, and you know what it is? It's like I don't know. This might be bad for the sport. Again, I'm a hater. So, but again, home team. Let me know what you guys think about this new addition to the Dodgers. And how does it affect baseball or the baseball landscape? Let me know in the comments. This one, this one, home team. I gotta take a sip of. I gotta. Cheers to this one. Cheers to this one. Yo, listen, John Harbaugh is the new coach for the Giants. This is absolutely great news, given the fact that now we have Malik Neighbors. We got a nice defensive end that we got. And now we got Dart, and now we got a good coach. I mean, this is great news. I'm excited for this. It's a long time coming that the Giants actually make a good move, a great move actually. We haven't had a great coach since Tom Coughlin. They've just been recycled. It pains me as a Giants fan, but this is a great move. Um, I want to first start out by saying, like, yo, why did the Ravens give this up? Like, I just feel like they kind of alley ooped it to us, and I'm even surprised the Giants even saw the alley oop in the first place. But I get it. The Ravens, they weren't what they were supposed to be this year. But I feel like a coach like that, you should give them a pass. But hey, he's a Giant now. Clap it up. The Giants finally did something great. So I'm this is a culture shifter. I think he's gonna come in here. He's gonna instill a system, and a winning culture. I think the Giants need that, especially with a young quarterback like Dart, and a young receiver like Neighbors. So again, I'm excited to see what how we project. Um, I'm only projecting up with this, but with the Giants, you never know. But I'm excited for this move. This is a big win for the Giants. And yeah, hopefully it works. Hopefully we get the ball rolling, start winning games, maybe make the playoffs. But I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. I'm just overly excited. Um, Home team, and especially the New York fans in the home team. Let me know what you guys think. We'd love to hear your comments and stuff like that on the hiring of John Harbaugh as a new head coach of the New York Giants. Football is in the playoffs. I spoke about the wild card games. Wild card games are over now. We're getting into we're getting closer to the AFC champion and the NFC championship, as well as the Super Bowl. Um, the 49ers versus the Eagles. I had the 49ers. But the Eagles just looked atrocious. They just didn't look like a Super Bowl team. And I just think they kind of need to revisit what their identity is. Because they don't know what their identity is anymore. I feel like they won a Super Bowl, and now all of a sudden they're they they're taking a break from football. Jalen Hurts is, I mean, just last year we were saying like he's up there, and now all of a sudden it's like, yo, like you're looking like a shell of yourself. You know what I mean? And it's just like when you really start analyzing it, like, are you really gonna go this cold in the playoffs? I just think last year might have been the year. And I just think they probably put all their energy into trying to beat the Chiefs, which they did. But at the same time, like you really need to like really keep up your culture and who you are and stuff like that. And I don't think they did that. Um, just even like the stats behind it. Um, listen, in a playoff game, and you're QB1, Jalen Hurts 168 yards. And listen, that pass you threw with on triple coverage, bro. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Come on, man. Like, just you just you should have experienced that from a guy like Jalen Hurts. And I think because he won a championship, his standards are here now. But like he's not this year, he just hasn't been living up to that standard. Even like Saquon only had 106 yards. And the main concern isn't even what you call it is Jalen Hurts, is mostly AJ Brown. Because AJ Brown's always saying, like, oh, well, listen, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open, but you're open, but you're not even getting the ball. You're not even catching the ball. And listen, I'm over here being critical on Jalen Hurts, but he was giving you was wide open. He was wide open. You was complaining about that, but now all of a sudden you wide open and you playing lackluster. Listen, from a quote unquote star receiver, listen, 25 yards. The running back got the same amount of yards as you. That listen, man, yo, I don't know. That lackluster, terrible, just despicable, the performance by the Philadelphia Eagles. Flip side, 49ers, they have Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan, great, just great. They capitalize. They capitalize on an Eagles team that wasn't playing to their best capability, and they pulled out a W. And Brock Purdy had 262. He threw two interceptions, but he also threw two tutties. Um, but the difference was Christian McCaffrey and Demarcus Robinson. I think those two were the big game changers. And what I love about Christian McCaffrey is that he's a dual threat. He could pass, he could catch the ball, he could run the ball. Your boy is saying pick your poison, but either way, you getting burnt. So shout out to the 49ers. I mean, they just capitalized. They just capitalized on a lackluster Eagles team. Um, Buffalo versus Jaguars. You see, we talk about premier quarterbacks, right? And that's exactly what Josh Allen he's a premier quarterback. He he is he's the guy that you want on your team when all odds are against you. He's one of those. Pat Mahomes, and then you also want Josh Allen. And it's crazy because like at first you thought, all right, the Bills are, this is crazy. They might give away this game, but Josh Allen was just doing Josh Allen things, and you know 273, one tutty, running the ball, just doing everything. You know what I'm saying? Like he his receiving core isn't that good, but he's just making it work. That's what you do when you're a upper echelon quarterback. I said echelon. Sorry, home team. When you're an upper echelon quarterback, yo, listen, man, you gotta be putting up these types of numbers. This is the types of numbers that you gotta be putting up. You gotta make your team better. And think about it. You got this is not the best receiving core, but Josh Allen makes it work. But you don't want to dismiss. I don't want to dismiss the Jaguars. They had a great game. Trevor Lawrence is going to be something in this league. NTN decent running game. Parker Washington had 107 yards with a tutty. So shout out the Jaguars. They definitely put up a fight. It was definitely a battle. They took the Bills to a battle, but ultimately, I think again, experience. I think experience came is what put which helped the Bills pull out a W. So shout out the Bills for getting the W, and shout out Josh Allen. I don't know what kind of push they might get or will make, but we'll see. It's interesting. Like I think the gates are open. I think Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the playoffs right now. Chargers, Pats. Um, you know, I said that was my dark horse, the Chargers. And I'm saying on business when I say that, but the Patriots, they didn't really like, you know, it wasn't really a blowout, but the Patriots, even though they're kind of like a rookie team, not really a rookie team, but like an inexperienced team, their coaching staff, verbal, as he was with Belichick. And when you got that type of coaching behind you, it makes a difference. It really makes a difference. It's not about just being like players being experienced. Coaches also need to have experience too. And I think Verbal having that experience is really really amazing. Especially the way he he's really instilled a lot of confidence in Drake. Man, you see it. 268 yards, 130 to an into, but they pulled out a W. Rushing, just doing everything they can to make plays and win the game. So yeah, I mean, I think the Patriots are like the Spurs of the NFL, where like they'll hit a slump and then boom, they get the right pieces, and all of a sudden, they're back in the mix. Um, for me, you hate to see it, but hey, man, listen, you gotta give credit to where credit is due, and they do amazing. You know, it's kind of sad Stephon Diggs isn't being the quarterback that he once was. I mean, I said quarterback, though, the receiver that he once was. But hey, at least he's in the mix. You know what I mean? I think at least he's enjoying his ride. Um, but yeah, Chargers just need to bounce back. That's really what it comes down to. They just need to bounce back. They're young. I think they got a lot of energy in them to make a push. Um, lastly, the Houston versus Steelers. Listen, Rogers is looking like a shell of himself. CJ Stroud and the Texans were all over. Like they just dominated this game. And yeah, I was going for the Texans. They pulled a victory out. Mike Tomlin is retired because of this. It was just an abysmal game. Like for Aaron Rodgers being you know, I don't know if he went down with injury or not. I think he did, but 146. You know what I'm saying? Just the team just played bad. You know what I'm saying? And again, the Texans capitalized and they came out with a W. Christian Kirk, 144 yards. That's tough, man, tough. CJ Stroud was in his bag, so um, yeah, Texans are they were able to pull out this victory. So shout out to the Texans. And she's CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's a upcoming quarterback. Not upcoming. I think he's getting the feel for the game and stuff like that. So again, shout out to the Texans home team. Let me know what you think about the wild card games. Let me know what you guys thought. Are these any of y'all teams? Did they have your heart racing? Did you enjoy the nail biters? Let me know. Put your comment, drop your whatever your thoughts are in the comments. Would love to hear those. And just hear what you guys have to say about the wild card games. But now we're in the heart of the playoffs. Broncos, Bills. My predictions. I'm going with the Bills. I'm going with Josh Allen. I think he's having I think like I said, to make a run, it's now, and I think he understands that, and he's pushing it. He's taking that team, putting the team on his back. Patriots, Texans. I'm always gonna go up against the Patriots because I'm a hater against them. The Texans, uh, the Seahawks, 49ers. I love the fact that the Seahawks are here, but man, I'm going with the 49ers. I'm riding with my mom. She's a big 49ers fan. And Bears Ram. This is gonna be a tough one. It ultimately comes down to experience. To be honest, but for me, I'm gonna go with the Bears. They got home mixed. They even though they're a young team, they do have the home field advantage, and it's cold. They play in the cold and stuff like that. So we'll see how they play. But don't listen, the Bears. Yo, my message to you: nah, underestimate the Rams. That boy, Matt Stafford is he's a baller. And he's won a ring already, so he has the experience. So don't take him for granted. But those are my picks for the next round of the NFL playoffs. Home team. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comments as usual. I want to see what you guys your thoughts. And obviously you'll hear my review and recap when these games are over. Now hopefully we get some more good games because boy, have we been getting some good games in these playoffs. Um, yeah. So wrapping up the session with the thing that the Bears might need or any of these NFL teams might need is elevated advice. My elevated advice to you guys. Oh, by the way, elevated advice is sponsored by CoStar. CoStar waiting for that contract. But my elevated advice to you guys, the home team, is create a life that you don't need to take a vacation from. And I just think like that kind of my interpretation of that is boils down to happiness. Never want to be doing something or be in a situation that you're unhappy. It just causes misery and negative thoughts come to your head. You always want a life that you always look forward to coming back to. And I'm not saying that, in this literal sense. It's always nice to take a vacation, getting out of your norm, but you know, you really shouldn't have to be like, yo, all right, I'm back. Want to take a vacation, you know, just because you're not really fully enjoying your life. I think everybody deserves to enjoy their life. So, and this really just stems from happiness. Happiness. Being in touch with you, loving yourself and stuff like that. So that's my advice to you, for you guys, home team. Let me know what you guys think. I got as usual. Drop in the comments. Let me know what your advice for whether it be for me, or for the other people in the comments. Let me know, um, what you guys think of my elevated advice as well. Always want your insight. Happy that season 3 is rocking and rolling. And I love conversating with you guys. Again, like I keep mentioning, season 3 is it's gonna be a big one. We're gonna have a lot. We have a lot in store for you guys. So just stay on the ride. Season 3, baby. Home team. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. And tapping in with you guys. Um, as usual. YouTube. We're on YouTube. Every Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern time. For my people that are in the West Coast, 3 p.m. for you guys. Um, and yeah, see you home team on the flip side. I'll catch you guys next week. Take care.